So, what is your favorite episode of Chicago Fire that partially or fully focuses on your character, and what makes it special?
I'll tell you specifically.
Okay.
So there was an episode that we did that was our bottle episode, which was just myself and David Eigenberg stuck in an elevator with two local Chicago actors, and it was the entire episode was in that elevator. So we were filming, typically we film, if we're lucky, 5-6 pages a day.
Right.
We were doing 30 pages a day, and it was like doing like a play. It was like rehearsing a play every day. And that experience was so unique and so interesting, and working with David Eigenberg is a dream. Well, it used to be. He's impossible now. But yeah, I would say that one definitely stands out for me. Yeah.
David's a very underrated actor.
Oh my God, I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Could not agree with you more.
What's the best advice you've ever received as an actor, and how do you use it as a working actor?
The best advice that I ever got as an actor was from my mother. The very first play that I wanted to audition for was in high school. They put up an open casting call for Dracula, and I remember pulling the poster off the wall, and I ran to my house and I was like, "Mom, I think I want to do this." At this point, I was a stage technician because I was like, I could never act. I could never, and I don't know why I caught the bug, but I told her, I think I want to do this, and she was like, so do it, audition. And I was like, I can't, it'll be the worst, like everybody will laugh at me, it'll be so embarrassing, and she said to me, the very worst that they can happen is they say no, and you move on. And that has stuck with me forever. It's like, I think you have to just be prepared to hear the no's more often than the yeses.
That's a great tip. What's the first thing you think about when you think about your love for performance or acting, and why?
I would probably say the community of it. I think in general, especially now being more in the film and television world, the medium cannot be done by itself. The art cannot be created alone. And I think that is so unique and so special. The reason that our company's name is Mass Epiphany is because I believe it takes a collective moment of clarity to be able to create something like that. And then I think when we all have the opportunity to sit down and watch it, we are in a moment of collective clarity.
Final question, what's the best thing you've checked off your bucket list, and what makes it satisfying?
This movie that I just directed. I wrote something and I never in my life thought that I would write something I would deem good enough to actually put on film. And we just wrapped I think it was 3 weeks ago. And it was an incredible experience. It's by far the biggest swing I've ever taken, and the sort of best vote of confidence I could have given myself.
Is it a feature or short?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I overwrote the hell out of it, and we got a lot of footage. So there may be a universe where it's just long enough to be a feature. Excellent. But as of right now, it's a very long short.
Oh, dude, 83 is working.
I agree.
So what is your favorite episode of The Chi that partially or fully focuses on your character, and what makes it special?
I think it had to be this season. It just happened, episode 808.
All right.
It's the bachelorette party.
Okay.
That was my favorite episode out of all the seasons, all 8 seasons. What was the other question? You had a compound question.
Well, how do you like this episode in particular, the way it focuses on your character?
Okay.
Why?
I think first off, I loved this episode because we had a lot of our cast in these scenes, so it was really fun just to work with everybody. We don't always get to work with everyone. This episode in particular, it's a very layered episode for my character. She's throwing this bachelorette party, but it's like a secret motive underlining it. She's trying to hide something from the person that she's throwing it from. So I think it's a very interesting way we play it out, and there's these beautiful nuances where you can see that she's hiding, but then also she's trying to host and celebrate.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. What have you learned about your range as an actor after 8 seasons on The Chi, and what emotion challenges you the most?
I have learned that it really helps when you have when you're comfortable with the crew and just your co-stars in general.
Nice.
I mean, not to say you can't tap into a certain emotion without being with being around a person that you're not super familiar with.
Right.
But after 8 seasons working with this crew and this cast, it's like you're so vulnerable, you're so open, and I love that you can just be fluid with your performance. Yeah.
All right. What's the first thing you think about when you think about your love for performance or acting, and why?
Ooh, I think about how much I've grown from it and learned about myself. I think that's something we forget when we're taking on these characters. We're stepping out of ourselves, but we're also getting open perspective.
Right.
We're trying to justify their actions and their motives, and even when it's wrong. So you kind of learn a little bit more about yourself and just apply more character to yourself.
Finally, what's the best thing you've checked off your bucket list, and what made it so satisfying?
Ooh, relearning how to play the piano.
Wow.
I rebought a piano a couple of years ago, and just relearning notes and playing again has been something very satisfying for me.
Right, that's a good bucket list.
Thank you.
After all the planning and coordination, what makes this night special for you in the sense that you've launched this new Midwest Film Festival format?
You know, it's been really special to seeing people walk in and hear them like, oh my gosh, this is so incredible, this is so amazing,
Nice.
and feeling excited and supported.
Yeah.
That makes all of the planning worth it. All of the little details that don't go quite as you envision them to go, everything feels like an uphill battle.
Yeah,
you know, whether, you know, you're indie film, whether you're a filmmaker or you're in the film festival space, it's all challenging. And you can get in a space of asking yourself, why the heck am I doing this? And then you see the people walk through the door and you see the experience that they're having, and people saying, I've already met some really cool and awesome people, and it makes it worth it.
That's great. So, what is the most challenging acting role you've taken to date, and how did you take the challenge and make it your own?
Acting?
Yeah.
Oh, it would definitely be the honor that I had of playing maybe Till Mobley in Trial in the Delta. And having the opportunity to embody her over all of Q1, that's what I was doing, of this year. And what helped me make it my own was my understanding of what it is to straddle the color line and grow up in spaces where people did not look at me. And think that if I was smart enough and articulate enough and presented well enough, that I would be safe and okay. And that was the same belief that Mamie had, and she thought that her baby would be okay. Yeah. And I was able to bring my unique perspective and lived experience of the pain that you feel to understand that that's not true.
So interesting. What's the first thing you think about when you think about your love for performance or acting, and why?
The first thing I think about is how much I needed me on the screen when I was little. Seeing somebody that looked like me, telling stories that I could relate to, feeling that I was actually seen and valued and worthy of being on the big screen. That for me, and creating stories that people can relate to and having that opportunity, is the first thing I think about as a storyteller. Like, I'm writing it for little me and all the little me's out there.
Finally, what is the best thing you've checked off your bucket list, and what made it satisfying?
Oh, you know, the best thing I checked off my bucket list was studying in London. I studied Shakespeare and Contemporary Theatre at the Guildhall School of Music and Theatre, and studying in London was always on my list of things to do, and it was one of those things that was a challenge and an uphill battle. And once I got to the top of that mountain, it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life that shifted who I am as a person in my life today.
Okay, one last thing. This will publish tomorrow, so what do you want to pitch for the rest of the weekend?
Get your tickets, y'all. Get your tickets. Day one tomorrow at Ramova is going to be absolutely incredible. So many beautiful independent stories being told. Cartemquin, it has 4 films that they're showing. Incredible time to be in the space together. And then don't forget about the book drive with La Rabida Hospital on Saturday. Make sure you come out for that, and a live reading of a children's book, and your BMA tickets. Get your BMA tickets. I was like, what else? There's so many things. Get your BMA tickets. It's our annual fundraiser, and this cool thing that we're doing can't be done if we don't have the funds to do it. So make sure you come out.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2026.